What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Banco Boxing, and today I'll be talking about various topics. This will probably be the first episode of Banco Boxing Talk. Stay tuned. What's good, Fight World, man? It's your boy Banco Boxing. I appreciate you for checking in. If it's your first time on the on the channel, I'm sorry, and you're interested in boxing and all my takes and stuff like that or anything, man, make sure you please hit that subscribe button. But check this out, guys. Today I'm gonna talk about what is an actual pay-per-view star, or the misconception about that some of these boxers have about being a pay-per-view star. I'm gonna talk about negotiations, fake side of the street, and it was one more. But anyways, guys, so first things first, man. Boxers today think they a pay-per-view star because they fought on pay-per-view. Let me give you all a disclaimer. The reason why they're fighting on pay-per-view is because the networks don't care about boxing that much, so they didn't put some of these, how much these cards will cost to put on, they didn't put it in the budget. So that's the reason why some of these fights are going to pay-per-view, because they can't afford to pay them the money. So last year we had, I think, 5 pay-per-views. Broner, Pacquiao, Spence, Mikey, Thurman, Pacquiao, Spitz, Porter, and Wilder and Ortiz. Okay? So none of those fights did over 1 million pay-per-view buys. None of them whatsoever. I think the closest one might have been Keith and Pacquiao, and then that's the second one would be Broner and Pacquiao. And Keith and Pacquiao only did good based off really the success, I would say, of Broner and Pacquiao, honestly. Because those two guys were perfect for him because they sold the fight, man. They didn't sell the fight. So one of the issues is, I know people going to talk about, well, people be streaming this and that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Yes, people stream. People were streaming when Mayweather fought McGregor. Yeah, I can't compare the two because that's an event, and Conor McGregor is an actual superstar, opposed to anybody we have in boxing right now outside of maybe Manny Pacquiao and Floyd and possibly Canelo. But having said all that, man, the issue is, no one is, they oversaturated it because most of these cards did not have good undercards. I think the only good undercard might have been, I think, on Spence and Porter, if I'm not mistaken. Keith and Manny's was supposed to be good, but I think John Molina had to pull out one of those fights. He was on one of them cards. I could be wrong. Like, if you watching this in the comments, let me know. I'm doing this off the top of my head. But number one, most of the cards sucked. And two, they're oversaturating. How you gonna build a pay-per-view? Floyd Mayweather said it takes 6 months to build a pay-per-view. How you gonna build a pay-per-view in 2 months? No, you know what I'm saying? You had like 2 or 3 press conferences, but it, you know what I'm saying, they didn't do their jobs right. I would employ the boxers to everybody get their own YouTube channel and do their own About Billions thing. Shout out to AB because he started doing his own thing on YouTube with About Billions. And you see some other boxers following suit, like Tevin Farmer. I'm put Tevin Farmer when he replied to my comment when I shouted him out about, you know, basically promoting himself for all these fights and stuff like that on his YouTube channel. So he got the right memo. But why I got into this bag about pay-per-view stars is because Gervonta Davis and Leonard Ellaby are trying to sell us that this dude is a pay-per-view star. It's not. Like, you fighting Leo Santa Cruz on pay-per-view, that's not a pay-per-view fight. Like, you know, conventional wisdom says Santa Cruz ain't got no chance. They do a smaller fighter coming up, and I think they're going to fight at 130 pounds, I think. Tank have a hard time making 135. And he probably going to knock Santa Cruz out. You know what I'm saying? I already know what they're trying to do. They're trying to, it doesn't work. They're trying to build Tank off of Hispanics and Mexicans and stuff like that. But honestly, boxing is kind of an afterthought, so it doesn't matter. All these dudes aren't household names anymore. So why are you wasting time trying to make them fight the Santa Cruzes and the Nunezes and all them dudes? He should have been fought Tevin Farmer and Gary Russell. Guys actually had a chance to beat him. But that's all I'm going to say on that, man. You're not a pay-per-view star if you're fighting on pay-per-view. Basically, they can't afford to put your fights on. That's all it is, man. I'm just going to keep it like that. Now, moving on to topic 2. Negotiations. First of all, this don't even got to go for boxing. I'm just say this right now, okay? Negotiations. They give you an offer. Cool. Whatever the offer is. You know what you want to get paid, right? So you aim high for that number with your counter offer. They either going to get closer to that number or what? And they're going to tell you what they can or can't do. The business objective is to get you for the lowest price possible so they can save money. That's their objective. Your objective is to get the most money you can for whatever work you do or provide. Right or wrong. Okay, cool. So, I'll touch on this. I've touched on it on Facebook before, maybe Twitter. Danny Garcia was griping about what Amir Khan got paid to fight Terrence Crawford. Right? And he said that the offer he got is a lowball offer of $3 million. Okay, that's cool, whatever, right? But you got to think about this. Why would Bob come out the gate and offer Danny Garcia $8 million? He don't want to spend $8 million to pay Danny Garcia. And I have to retract some of my thoughts. I remember on my earlier videos, I was saying Bob needs to offer the money. And that was only because I just was upset, feeling like, everything was on Bob when it came to the fights with Terrence Crawford and them boys. But now, as I step back from everything, Bob is a smart businessman. I'm not finna offer no dude that's not a champion a lot of money to come fight my champion, who ain't just like this big star anyway. Like Danny Garcia, not the star that he think he is. Number one, he's just not. And number two, like he said in a recent interview, I hadn't watched Blue Blood interview, but I already knew this to be true. Amir Khan didn't start off, I think he got 5 or 7 million, something like that. I can't tell you, but he said we didn't initially offer him that. They negotiated that. So what does that tell you? Danny and them never sent a follow-up offer. Like I told everybody, he never sent a follow-up offer. Also, I always ask people, when has Al Heyman sent, an offer to somebody? When the last time he sent an offer? We hadn't seen that either. You know what I'm saying? So everybody trying to get on Bud and Bob talking about dude doing this and that. Talking about Amir Khan got this. No. Amir Khan negotiate that regardless if you feel like he worth it or not. He know his worth and he got his money. It's simple. He know who he got to pay, his corner and this and that and all that. He know what he got to do. All that stuff is included when you negotiate these deals. You got to think about it. It ain't just him getting paid. He got to pay everybody. So for all y'all that got a misconception of how negotiations and stuff work like that, you're going to start with a low offer. Now had this been Errol Spence, you know what I'm saying? Bob, if he want to come on ESPN, he might say, okay, Spence got 2 belts. Here's $10 million. That's different. He got 2 belts. He bring 2 belts to the table. Possibly, you could possibly get 3 or 4 belts over there at PBC. At Top Rank. So it's totally different. You got to understand the market and you got to understand what you're worth and how to play the game. Bob been doing this for years. So I can't blame him on that. He's trying to get them fights. Them other boys are not sending counter offers, or they just don't want to fight at the moment because maybe Al promising them something else. But my last topic, man, I've talked about it many times, but like I said, the side of the street does not exist. It's a phrase coined by Errol Spence. Hopefully he got to copyright it so he get money every time we mention it. But as you see with Fury and Wilder, they're about to do their rematch. One's PBC, one's Top Rank. They're going to fight. That hushed all the notion of, hey, you know what I'm saying, side of the street or this and that and the third. That hushed all the noise. So I don't even have to touch side of the street anymore. It's been debunked since 2018. So I don't want to hear no more about who on the wrong side of the street. Because Charlo and technically on the wrong side of the street because he ain't getting no big fights. And same thing for Andrade, if you want to go that route. But the last thing, bonus. I'm probably going to link the video in my description. But your boy Errol Spence is out here living his best life, dancing and stuff. And I don't know when he's supposed to be fighting, but it would behoove him to already get in better shape. instead of having to have a fat camp. He don't need to wait till March to get in shape. He needs to be getting in shape now. Now, I could be wrong. He'll be working out, but how it looks, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, I think he needs to go see a psychiatrist or a therapist. And this is not me being funny. This is dead serious. When you have something traumatic happen to you, sometimes it puts you in a relapse. I remember I had my wreck in 2015, and I think my mindset changed a little bit. It was just like, because it wasn't as horrific as he is, but it was still pretty bad. And I was just like walking away from it. And I kind of just like, I'm going to live life to the fullest or whatever. And I think that's what Errol Spence is on. But him being a boxer, he can't do that. He can't play boxing. It's not like football or basketball. He got to put boxing first. He can lose his life in there. So I honestly, like, y'all think I hate Spence. I think Bud is better. But at the end of the day, I want Spence to be safe in there. I want him to be at his best when he fight Bud or whoever he going to fight. So he needs to be careful because Pacquiao's watching all this. And Pacquiao's an opportunist. Don't be surprised if we don't see the Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence fight mentioned for around June or July. Do not be surprised. It ain't because Manny want to fight the best out there. It's because Manny sees some leakage and see that, you know what I'm saying, Spence ain't that serious about boxing right now. That's what it just look like on the outside looking in. I know haters gonna come through and say, you don't know what you're talking about, this and that. But I'm saying, when I put this video in, you're going to look at it and be like, man, what's Spence doing? Matter of fact, I'll probably just put it in this part of the video. But hey, guys, if you made it this far, man, I appreciate you coming to Banco Boxing Talk, man. Check out some of my playlists. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hate, comment, like, subscribe, share it to your social media. Banco Boxing out.